So I was going crazy here in Hawaii, a little bit of a vacation, but the Knicks are killing it. We got to talk about it. Let's roll the intro. Let's get into the video.
Take notes.
Big Beach. We're here.
I'm at Alan.
It's different this time.
What's up, guys?
Go!
Look at this score. Look at the score. And can you believe that we were actually 18 points below? And we were able to come back up in what quarter?
The third quarter of success.
The third
Not anymore.
The third quarter. This is the third quarter magic, because that's what Clyde said. He said third quarter magic, which is something as Knicks fans that we don't know anything about. This is a whole new concept for us, and I am loving it. Tom Thibodeau has come in here and changed the franchise. He has changed the franchise. He's changed the way these guys play. They're playing with a completely different mindset. They're afraid of him, which I like. They feel accountable towards him. He's not taking any shit, and they know that. They know that if they want to play, they have to play how he tells them to play. They actually said, quote, "It's my way or the highway." That's basically how he runs his shit.
Tom Thibodeau is not your friend. He's not your neighbor. He's not your daddy. He is your coach. And if you want money, you want to play in the NBA, you want to show your skills. Yeah, I said money. You want to get paid next season? You got to listen to what Tom Thibodeau is saying. It changed the culture. I want to say single-handedly, because honestly, looking at the entire group, right, I am so impressed with the entire Leon Rose regime. You saw Kenny Payne today. He gave the post-halftime talk. I love everything he said. He had the stats. He was looking at it. He wanted to let you know what he saw. I just really enjoy what Leon Rose has put together with this team. And then Thibodeau is the right coach. He's getting these guys to play hard. This is yet another game that I fully believe we have no business winning, right? We've seen this team play these games, get into the third quarter, go down against a good team, and die. That's what's supposed to happen. That's the NBA. The Knicks, again, fight back. Even if they lost this game, the fact that they came back in a game against a legit playoff team in the Utah Jazz won.
Not only a legit playoff team, but a legit playoff team that played the Nets last night and got blown out. So they were coming here tonight with a whole different energy, right? They were winning this game.
Yep.
And when they went for the 18-point lead, I was like, okay, they probably have this. I was actually going to call you and say, hey, let's not bother to tape because the Knicks are losing anyway. And they proved us wrong, and I'm so happy. Let's talk about a couple of the players, right? Because I am wearing Mitch's shirt. So
Hold. I'm sorry. I gotta preempt. Take the Mitch Robinson off the screen for a second. Just 1 second. Austin motherfucking Rivers.
We're getting there, but we're getting there. You get the t-shirt, man. You get the t-shirt. We're getting there. I'm trying.
No. I don't care if it's me.
You saw the game played out, right? You saw the game.
You're right.
Saw the game
off the tequila. I'm out here off the tequila.
All right, we're going back to Mitch real quick, because Mitch with the rebounds tonight, which we know he likes to do that. We know he likes to block. We know he likes to score at the rim. And those rebounds tonight look really nice from him. He didn't get into crazy foul trouble, which he usually does. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Mitch. I feel like he's straightened up. I think the first couple of games, we were talking about him and saying that, remember they were talking about him not coming to practice and not having the discipline. And clearly someone spoke to him, because he changed that shit up real quick.
He did. I'm going to have to hold off on my Austin Rivers stuff for later. We're going to talk about him. But yeah, Mitch, the 180 he's done since those rumors came out, impressive. You can see even the way Tibbs speaks about him now, that he definitely understands Mitch a bit more, knows how he is, how he reacts to certain, how he's spoken to, and the kind of person he is. And I think you're seeing those benefits now on the court. Mitch he's playing his game, but it's so much more controlled, right? You're seeing the Mitch that we saw those months that DeAndre Jordan was here, and that is incredible. 13 tonight, active on the board, not going crazy with the foul, still trying to do his work. Rudy Gobert is a tough cover on both ends, just because Rudy.
I know. He really is.
Exactly. And Mitch held his own. And I think, Mitch has been, in a weird way, kind of under the radar, because we talk about Rivers and Randle and RJ. But really, Mitch has taken that position that could have gone to Noel. He's taken it on completely. He's playing disciplined basketball. He's getting a lot of minutes. Tibbs is trusting him. He's doing the right thing. Nothing but love for Mitch Robinson. Great stuff tonight.
To be honest, he's actually probably lucky that Nerlens is out right now, injured, because he's getting the opportunity to play. Right? Because would he have been starting if Nerlens was here?
Yeah, we've always spoke about this, right? It's like, yeah, you can do some good things, but if you're doing it for 20 minutes and at 35, how valuable are you? And tonight he shows, and not just tonight.
That was me trying to show you that you were frozen. That was me trying to show you were frozen, so you may need to edit the video at that point.
Okay. Okay. So Mitch is showing you now is that control version of himself, the version we've all wanted for years. It's good to see. I am so impressed with what we've seen from Mitch reacting to Tibbs. Tibbs, you can hear what Tibbs is saying. You can read between the lines. He clearly is happy with what we're seeing from Mitch, and why shouldn't we be? But I'm preempting the current discussion because I tried to do it earlier. I tried to take over Mr. Austin Rivers. We're going back to it because I want to bring up a tweet. I said weeks ago, Nostradamus over here. Also, keep in mind, guys, I'm off the Don Julio. So anything can happen.
You're off what?
I'm off the Don Julio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going crazy. But I tweeted out that Austin Rivers is going to have a Austin Rivers game where he looks like a superstar and everyone's like, yo, what the hell? And I don't know. I don't even think this was the game because I think Austin Rivers is going to have crazier games than this. This is a guy that scored, 40 points in the bubble in one game. But tonight, Austin Rivers, and again, $10 million for 3 years. It makes no sense.
For a deal. We got him.
Okay, here's my question. I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
What did they tell him behind the scenes? Because there's no way he signed it. And it's really one of two things. Austin Rivers had a charge coming out that he was about to come out in the media.
What?
A charge, and he was like, yo, let me lock in this deal, number one. Number two, he had a bad injury that he knew was bad and knew if he can lock in $10 million, it's cool. Or three, here's the thing. His deal is 3 years and a team option every year, which means we can choose. Right. Did they tell him, hey, Austin, next year we're going to sign a superstar, we're going to do a trade, we're going to get a big guy in here, and when we do that, we're going to cancel your current deal and pay you what you're worth based on the first season? Right. That actually would make sense to me because Austin Rivers signing in the prime of his career, late 20s, he signed for 3 years, $3 million right? per year. You see what he is to our team? It's insane.
A couple things about Austin Rivers. So not only does it not make sense for us to get him for that deal because not only is he a seasoned player, his father's a player, right? So he knows the ins and outs of the NBA. You mentioned something to me a few weeks ago where you said to me that you think that Austin is actually here for the long term with the Knicks organization. So possibly he's looking to become a coach, an announcer, something else, but with the Knicks organization. What I love about him, so obviously he's a veteran, right? So he knows what he's doing. You don't have to tell him anything. He is giving us those points, solid points, at the time that we need them. And it's so crucial, the time that he's giving us those points, because there are points in the game where when you get that boost and you have some, what did he score? Didn't he score like 7 points in a row? Or like he gave us I think
wait, was it 14? I swear they said 14.
You know what? You might be right.
Wait, but guys, hold up. Before we confirm that fact, I want you to remember that your boy Terry is off the Don Julio. But I'm pretty sure
I have a little bit of wine here. I'm not on the Don Julio, so I'm not rocking with you right now.
But yeah, I think he scored 14 points in a row at one point, and I think you actually hit it on the head. It's actually fun when I hear you use like your own analysis and not basketball terminology.
You know the analogy, right?
But here's the thing, right? Most people just say Austin Rivers is a clutch player, and it's what you've seen, right? He's coming in the fourth quarter when we need a bucket. You can give him the ball. He can get off a screen. He can make a jab step move. He can get to the bucket. He can hit a jumper. He wants the moment. You could see as he got hot, he wanted the ball and he wanted to make another big shot and another big shot. He was just building us up, and he's that kind of guy. And you love to see guys like that. They want the ball in the clutch. They want to make the moment happen. But what's cool about Rivers is while he definitely wants that at the end of the games, he's not messing up the whole game by being that kind of guy. You know what I mean? He's still moving the ball, still doing the right things.
Right. And he also spoke very highly of Emmanuel quickly. And the other thing that I like about him is that he is not here trying to be the superstar. Because if you really think about it, right, he came here, yes, low contract, money-wise, but he's a vet. So really, you're looking for him to sort of take that next step, that next level, and become like the player for the team, right? Like the face of the franchise, if you will. And he has the name to do that. I mean, his father played here, so he definitely can come in and be. He could have been that person, but he's not. He comes across to me as so humble and really as a true team player. So I love the addition of him to our team. I'm so glad that we didn't get who we were trying to get Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward, yeah.
I'm so glad that trade did not come through, because this is the kind of character that we needed on our team. I want us to talk a little bit about Elfrid Payton, because I know you were trashing him last game, and I know a lot of people trash him. And the thing with Elfrid Payton, right, is that he doesn't have to play great every night. If he can give us these kind of games once every 4 games, 5 games, whatever, I'm good with that, because look at the points that he scored. Like, are you kidding? Of course we need that. Of course we need that in the team, because we don't really have scorers, right? Alec Burke, like, he's not even playing right now.
I know. That's crazy to think how well we're playing without Alec Burke.
Scorer. He's not even playing.
Yeah. Alec Burks has been killing it for us, right? He's averaging 20 points per game, and he's not played during this, like, incredible run we're on. Elfrid, really solid tonight. Like, listen, my big reservations with Elfrid Payton was more about, like, our long-term future. But honestly, given the way this season's gone, there's a very good chance both Frank and DSJ are not here next year. Yeah. And Elfrid and quickly, or maybe a new guy we sign or whatever, is the point guard rotation. And you can't deny Elfrid. Like, tonight, obviously, he's still not a good shooter, but he gives you 22 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He's always going to give you the rebounds and assists. Solid night. Quickly didn't play much tonight. You know what I mean? Tibbs didn't really trust Quickly. Quickly had some up and down minutes, I would say. Pretty decent overall, but, you know, not great minutes. And the comeback happened with Elfrid on the court. And what Tibbs does,
he played 5 minutes.
Yes, exactly. So what Tibbs does is, with Tibbs, it's like, if you're playing in the game and when you're playing things are good, you're going to play a lot. So I think we saw Quickly the last game coming on strong. Elfrid didn't play. This game, the opposite. Elfrid finishes out because his defense helps us in the third. Near the end, he's playing good basketball. But it just feels like we can be in every game. I think that's the biggest takeaway for me today. It's like every single game, no matter what, we're in it. I saw us down, like you said. Even me, I was like, yo, I'm off the...
You're off the liquor.
Julio.
Let's move it. Let's move it right along. Let's move it right along, because we do have to talk about Julius Randle, right? Who did not start off great. And this is going to sound contradictory, but what I like about that is that he is able to change his game mid-game. So he's able to not start so great and take that halftime break and come back and still give us what we need on the court. And he is by far the best player on the team. He's shown that.
Julius Randle, again, 30 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists. Let's put this into context. At this point, Julius Randle's numbers are like legit MVP top 5 candidate. Like no cap, no lie, no nothing. There's no debate. These numbers are insane. These are LeBron James numbers. It sounds like blasphemy, but I'm still gonna keep doing this with my arms because I cannot believe it. Again, like you said,
he's in the top 5 in the NBA. He's in the top 5 in the entire NBA, which sounds crazy that it's a New York Knick that's up there.
And far less Mr. Randle, who had such a tough first season. I think you hit it on the head. I think what generally speaking, I'm pretty sure his mental health is in a better place overall, right? So I think like when it comes to basketball, I feel like if it's good, it can get good and get better. If it's bad, it can stay there and get worse. And I think for Randle specifically, you see an example of like we're in such a good flow. He's in a good flow. The coach is in a good flow. The team's in a good flow. It's so easy for him now to put a bad quarter or half behind him and move forward with better play. Whereas last year, I felt like the compounding nature of how bad we were just meant like if it's bad, it's going to fall off a cliff. right?
Yeah.
If it's a little bit bad, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse
Yes.
and worse.
Yes.
And
Well,
this year, it's almost like a positive mindset versus a negative mindset. I feel like this year we go down in the third quarter to a good team. We feel like, you know what? We can come back, right?
Yes.
Maybe we can. Last year, it felt like, oh no, this is it. We had a good game. Now we messed up. It's done. So I love it.
Yeah, I don't know if you're watching how the players are interacting with each other as well. They really seem to like each other. They seem to be getting along really well. And I know I said it in the last video. I want this team to stay together. And you also just mentioned both Frank and DSJ leaving. And you guys know that we're huge Frank fans. I will support Frank wherever he goes. But I clearly am seeing right now that we don't need those two guys on the team. Like, we're not even going to miss them. We haven't seen them play. We have not seen them play. So we're not going to miss them at this point.
I would say this as a lone resident left on Frank Karen. When Frank played a couple of games ago that we won before he got injured, he had 4 for 4 from 3, really nice game. I do not think Frank is a backup point guard for us. But I definitely think in certain games, maybe not every game at all, but I definitely think a lot of the Reggie Bullock minutes Frank can play. I think he can play in that position. I think he can do well. So I'm not done with Frank yet. I'm kind of done with DSJ because I don't see the point of DSJ with quickly. But I think Frank still offers you a lot defensively. His ability to, even against Trae Young, we end up winning that game late. Quickly had a crazy game. But early in the game, I felt like if Frank was on Trae Young, and if you watch the highlights, we did a video maybe a year ago or something, but Frank putting Trae Young in jail. There are guys.
Yes. I remember the cover had the jail cell.
Exactly. There's a jail on the thumbnail. There are a lot of guys in the NBA that Frank has found the ability to just completely annoy. And the thing is, if you have a team where everything else is working, putting one guy on to simply annoy the best player is a viable strategy. Now, does Frank want that for his career? Is that what the Knicks want? We don't know. But I definitely think Frank can work his way into the rotation. But, outside of that, the team is running right now, right? It's flowing. Everything's humming along. I think what we've seen, though, is there are quite a bit of injuries that will keep happening. So you can never really say this is the team because something's going to happen and change. And Frank had that 4 for 4 game from 3. It felt like, okay, Frank is definitely in the rotation now, and he gets injured and things are different now. So it's going to be fluid.
The thing is, you have to have your team ready for injuries. And Tibbs is playing a really tight rotation right now, right, with like 8 players. Yes. But we know that there are players that were sitting out. Austin Rivers only just started playing, right? So we know that there were players that were sitting out that we could bring in that could give us points. And I like that we're not depending on the same people every night to give us points. Yep. Yes, Julius is kind of in there, but like how Elfrid stepped up today and gave us those points, how quickly today only played the 5 minutes, but that was okay. Like, I never want us to depend on only 1 or 2 guys for us to win the game. And I think right now, as a team, they're showing us that we don't need to depend on 1 or 2 guys. Something that I think that Austin Rivers said at the end of the game was "Get off my court," and I love that New York attitude because that's what that is. And Clyde at the beginning of the broadcast was saying that the Knicks have to really start owning their court and winning games at home. And let me tell you something, those announcers are missing us fans at the Garden so much. They talk about it all the time. He talks about how much, yes, they're there, they're calling the games, but they really, really miss the fans. And they're seeing these games and they know what our reactions would have been. And so I really like this get off my court quote. Maybe we can make a t-shirt that says "Get off my court," because we'll rock that.
I love it.
Yeah, so great game by the Knicks, man. They're showing us that we can pull up in the third quarter or fourth quarter. We can still come through and win the game, not just kind of barely get there. I want you to enjoy the rest of your vacation.
I'm about to, but let me just say this about "Get Off My Court." I love that you brought it up. This is the Mecca. We've heard the marketing. We know what this means. We know what being a New Yorker means. I'm out here in Hawaii, and I'm out here rocking the New York jersey. I don't care. Let me show you. Are you guys seeing this? Can you see it?
A little bit. I'm seeing lots of sun.
Can you see it? Confirm.
Pull the camera up.
I'm trying to show the beach view.
Not a good picture here. Right? Pull the camera up. Pull it up.
That's what I'm saying is we represent for our city, and it's good to see players come here, look at our history, realize our history, know what it means to be a Knick, and feel that in their heart and their soul. Austin Rivers said it off the jump from his interview, and he's been living up to it. And honestly, guys, how could you love that? The Knicks are good. We're 5-3. We've beaten the Jazz. These are good teams. This is crazy. I'm gonna keep being off the. Hold up, wait. Off the Don Julio. And guys,
God.
see you guys next.
I gotta match you next time. Peace out, guys. Thanks so much for following our channel. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe to us. If you have any comments or any questions you want us to answer, please do so too. You enjoy your vacation in Hawaii. I'll see you when you get back. Peace out, guys.